So we're talking about all these plants, does it really make a difference if it's organic or conventionally grown, Sam?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Things like organic, GMO-free, hormone-free, a lot of that is mostly kind of a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Folks have this concept that really, if I am eating something that is organic, it's going to be good for me. If I'm eating organic lard, like I'm probably still going to have a heart attack at some point in my life, so it doesn't totally make sense. Really, organic in general is kind of promoting the idea that your food was produced in a more sustainable, ethical way with a little bit less artificial products like pesticides and things like that. Farmers are actually allowed to still use things like natural pesticides in their plants, which actually, doesn't cause us much harm. Similar to conventional produce, there's always those trace amounts of pesticides in food, like produce, the fresh fruits and veggies. But really the folks who are at the highest risk of having a problem because of that are really the farmers.
Okay.
They're the ones that are going to be exposed to it in such a high dose that it could cause them some type of illness. What about these GMO foods? What is so bad about them? Well, nutritionally, they're usually the same as the regular produce itself. Same with organic, they're all usually the same. But the thing to keep in mind is that by using a little bit of these genetically modified organisms, as GMO stands for, we can actually produce more efficiently. So we're actually able to make more produce in smaller spaces and in fact without using as many pesticides.
Wow.
So these GMO foods, they can actually produce their own natural pesticides that remove insects. If an insect tries to eat the plant, it's going to get sick.
Yeah.
So then you're probably thinking, well, that means I'm going to get sick from it too if I eat too much.
Right.
Again, not really the case. This is one of those things that folks, I don't think, totally grasp. And so they start to demonize these types of food. If I were to eat a bar of chocolate, I love chocolate. Chocolate's great. This is going to go well. But if I gave that bar of chocolate to my dog, that's harmful for the animal to have, but it's not harmful for me.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for a lot of these GMO foods. We've developed them in a way that they contain their own individual proteins that destroy insects, but don't destroy us. Adam, so in general, talking about everything we've mentioned, the health benefits, the ways we can eat plant-based, do you have any just helpful tips, tricks, advice for anyone who's trying to, pursue this type of a eating habit?
I think one of the first things is just going to be real simple, a couple words: eat well. And so, something as simple as, are you having a vegetable each day? I want people to start out simply. Are they having a fruit? Are they having a vegetable? Are they choosing 2 pieces of meat, at lunch, or are they choosing just 1 piece? Is it about the size of the palm of your hand? That's more moderation. If it's taking up half your plate, it might be a little bit too much. What kind of snacks are you eating throughout the day? As in, are you having a handful of almonds, or are you choosing a bag of Fritos from the vending machine? Are you packing your own piece of fruit, packing your own cut up vegetables? Are you having maybe some cottage cheese or some yogurt or something like that as a snack as well? So trying to think about those little things that you can change each and every day will start to make a big difference in your health. Some things that go, along the lines of health as well, as we're trying to improve it. Exercise. Are you being physically active throughout the day? That is going to play a major role in your overall health. Are you sleeping well, and are you managing your stress? All those things play a role in what do we choose to eat each day. Making sure that you're drinking more water throughout the day as well. If you're deciding to have diet pop, yes, that's a better option than regular pop. But water is an even better option.
Exactly.
So maybe switching to a couple more glasses a day. That's all that it would really take to start to make a little difference in your health. So making goals, making them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then time-oriented too. That's a good way to kind of think about how to make a goal, and then go for it. Follow through on it. And if you really need help, seek guidance, seek us, seek a dietitian, because we are here to help. This is our passion. This is our livelihood, that we can help people make these goals, create a journey for them so that we can walk with them and hold them accountable and actually have some really good guidance for them that is evidence-based. Sam, is there anything else that you can think of to kind of let anyone know if they're deciding to change their health?
No, I think you were spot on with saying, seek guidance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with trying to seek help in any of these situations. As we know with especially weight loss patients, when you are following up with someone regularly, that usually produces better results. So in any of these cases, if you're planning to make any type of a diet change or maybe a physical activity change, you should probably reach out to your primary care doc.
Absolutely.
You know, make sure that they think that's a good idea or that you're okay to do something like that. You know, a big part of National Nutrition Month is that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is trying to advocate for dietitians as, you know, the most profitable, credible, and really authoritative source for nutrition recommendations.
Absolutely.
So if you hear it from anywhere else, if it's from a blog, if it's from someone trying to sell you a diet book or a supplement, things like that, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Go to your dietitian first, for sure.
Absolutely.
But, you know, if we're not talking to people, what about things like websites or, you know, any organizations people can look into?
Yeah,
any
absolutely.
ideas there?
So there's choosemyplate.gov is a really good one, and it kind of talks about MyPlate a lot. Of course, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has their own website. It's called eatright.org. So then there's always the American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association as well. And those would be very evidence-based guidelines that are given to you, things that are ethical, things that are proven, things that are going to work. And so those are the places that I would really steer people toward.